A room without books is like a body without a soul. So these are my top 5 books that every man must read. Now there's probably way more books. I just can't think of them right now. All I can think about is these top 5 books that have helped me in my life, and I'm gonna share it with you. So the first book is Cant Hurt Me by David Goggins. Now the first time I heard about David Goggins was on a podcast with Joe Rogan, but I just saw a little clip of him and I was kind of intrigued. I was like, oh, who is this guy? So then I watched the whole podcast, learned about everything in his life, and I was like, wow, this is actually quite inspiring. But it wasn't until I read his book that I was like, damn, he put even more detail about his life and everything into his book. And the book really just helps you understand his methods to build mental toughness and mental resiliency, which is extremely important in this world. If you have a good amount of discipline, toughness, and resiliency, you can go far. And he clearly demonstrates the fact that you can go extremely far if you really believe in yourself and you push yourself past the limitations that we normally put on our own bodies and our minds. And I really loved reading that book. For a book for mental toughness and discipline, it is a great book. Like you'll read that book and you'll be like, you will go out and you will start doing shit in your life. Like there's no way you can not read that book and not feel inspired and motivated to actually change your life. Whether it's just going to the gym or starting a business or going for a run, you're gonna want to do something. Right? You're not gonna just want to sit at home and just play video games all day. You're gonna want to do something after reading that book. So the second book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Now, I think I've spoken about this book before. I want to just say this. I do think it is probably one of the best books for your own mental health. In terms of mindfulness and being present in the world, it probably is the best book that I've read so far. It's definitely relevant now in today's world where we are more mindless and doing mindless activities where we're just watching TV or just scrolling on the phone rather than being mindful and being truly present. When you read this book, I'm not going to say too much about it, but it'll talk about the ego and being mindful and staying present and actually like reaching inner peace and enlightenment and stuff like that. There's certain concepts of the book where you practice like every day. When you read a chapter, you'll just practice that chapter throughout the day. And that's what I want you to do when you read that book. Read the book, learn the concepts that he's talking about, and do right after you finish the chapter, like just start implementing the things into your life. I think the book is incredibly good for your own mental well-being, and it's super practical in this day and age. So pick up the fucking book. Don't waste your time. The third book is The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. This is a great book to understand more about masculinity and the polarity between masculine and feminine, but also it talks about the importance of having a purpose and a mission in a man's life, and that is one of the best ways, or probably the only ways, to really get fulfillment. Intimacy is an important part of a man's life as well, right? The relationships and everything else, but you need to have a purpose in your life. You need to really have a purpose, and this book talks way more about that. But the book really dials down into having a purpose, your mission, masculine energy, and it's really eye-opening. And you know, in today's age, where in the West, where it's like men are becoming more feminine and it's just weird, the dynamics is really weird. I think it's a great book to pick up and read. Fantastic book, highly recommend it. It gives you a better understanding of different aspects of your life and encourages a like holistic development in each area of your life, which is extremely brilliant. I think every man should pick this book up and read 100%. The fourth book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This was the first book or self-help or improvement, development, whatever you want to call it, book that I read in my life. I was 18 years old, I believe. I was a teenager, whatever it was, but I had to read it again because I didn't really understand and I didn't really like focus when I was reading back then, but I had to read it again. And the book is a great way to instill success principles into your mind. So setting goals, right? The importance of setting a goal. Many people have dreams. Very few have goals that they've actually set to get the dreams that they want. Very few. But you need to have a goal. You need to have a goal first. It talks about having faith in yourself and belief in yourself, visualizations and all these affirmations. I know there's also a chapter on sexual transmutation, which is very interesting. It's a really good book that has timeless principles in it. Like the principles within it, I believe is timeless. The book is it was made in 1940s, 50s, 60s, something like that, 30s. I don't know what it was, but it was something like years, decades ago, and it's still relevant in today's age. Timeless principles about success. Pick that book up as well. very practical for you to use in today's day and age. And the fifth book that I chose to tell you about right now is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I may have butchered his name, but it's The Alchemist. This book is about a boy who he's in Andalusia and he has these dreams and stuff, and he finally goes out to live out his personal legend. But it's much deeper than that. It's like a whole journey, and the book really does show you the importance of the journey and how it may be more valuable than just the destination, but the things that you learn about throughout the journey of life and overcoming different fears and challenges, and finally having self-belief in yourself and going for what you want in your life and not being afraid of what can or may not happen. I think The Alchemist was a big book, that was an important book for me that I read, that made me want to even start making this channel. It was about just going for it, because you need to live out your personal legend. And throughout the journey of living out your own personal legend, you'll always find more about yourself. You always keep growing. That's the whole self-improvement, right? You get better in all spheres of your life when you're just doing things. Every single sphere of your life, I want you to go out and do something about it. But if all you do is stay at home, do the same thing, you're not gonna grow in any area, bro. Just live out a journey. You have to take some risk in your life. Taking calculated risks and being a risk taker is what's gonna take you from that one stage that you're in to the next. If you're just doing the same things, playing it safe and doing whatever, then you're gonna stay the same. So I think this book was very valuable. I actually want to read it again. I will probably read it again, and I highly recommend it for you. So these are the top 5 books I think every man should read. There's definitely way more books out there. I'll probably be making more videos about the best books for you to read, maybe in even specific categories of your life, but these are the best books for you to read. And I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure that you go check out the school community down below, meet like-minded men who also like to read and also want to keep improving their life. I'm gonna be putting way more stuff in there. I'll even have a resource library, something I've been thinking about doing, just having articles and books and all these things that I've read, and just putting maybe even a summary of them into that community. Make sure that you go check it out right now. It's the first link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure that you share the video with a friend that's in need. Go subscribe as well right now. And last but not least, never waver from the path.